I remember in 1977 when I threw my cap up from high school and graduated, jumped in my hot rod and went down the freeway, and the Eagles' Life in the Fast Lane came on. Hello, Bud Preston, Preston Guitar Method. Hey, two things. First of all, this little sucker stranded me halfway between Cleveland, Ohio and Jamestown, New York. Secondly, yes, this is a guitar and a music channel. Come on. Why won't you come out of there? You come out of there. Ah, success. Okay, I got it. This is what they call a regulator rectifier. It works in conjunction with your motorcycle battery to make the motorcycle operate the most efficiently. Let me show you how it works. Okay, this represents your motorcycle battery. It needs to have at least 12 volts of electricity in order to start your motorcycle. The problem is, once it starts the motorcycle, it uses up some of the electricity, and that electricity needs to be replaced. And that did not go anything like I thought it was going to go. Okay, once the battery starts the motorcycle, it starts to spin a device called a stator. You can think of this like your alternator in a car. It generates electricity. That electricity that this stator in the motorcycle generates is supposed to recharge the battery. The problem is that this stator produces AC, or alternate current, and a battery needs DC, direct current. And those two do not mix. It's kind of like oil and water, and evidently it upsets chickens as well. Okay, enter the regulator rectifier. One of the jobs that this has is to take the AC current from the stator and rectify it so that it becomes DC current, so that this battery can be recharged. Now, it also has two more jobs. Okay, remember, this is a regulator rectifier. The job of the regulator, first of all, is to allow this stator to generate the electricity to top off and refill this battery. The second job of the regulator rectifier is to make sure that not only does the battery get charged, but that it does not get overcharged. Otherwise, it'll fry, which is exactly what happened to me when I had to be rescued from Jamestown, New York. But never fear, I've got a new one. Now, what does all of this have to do with music and the guitar? Well, let me turn this around onto that subject. See what I did there? Hey, if you're liking this video, ring the bell. See what I did there? You know, I have been a motorcycle nut my entire adult life. I ride all year round. Here's my winter bike. My summer bike. This one's getting a new carburetor rebuild as we speak. And my tripping bike for long trips. That's the one that actually broke down on me. It has been my ability to look deeper into electricity and combustion engines and dissect them on a deeper level that's helped me to keep these motorcycles on the road. I ride longer and less expensively because of this knowledge. I also ride safer. You see, I do my own tire changes. I do my own brake jobs. I do my own drivetrains and wheel balancing and things of that nature. So when I see that there's something going wrong, I can correct it before it's too late. That's what digging deeper into a subject can do for you. This particular bike that's broken down right now, I bought brand new in 1999, and that motorcycle has never seen the inside of a repair shop. I have been able to fix absolutely everything on my own. Now, this is also spilled over into auto repair. I can do all of my own work on my vehicles. I choose to do that. I mean, let's face it, I'm not 6'4" with Nordic blonde hair in a popular heavy metal band. I'm a guy who earns a living with just one guitar, raising a family for the last 20 years. It has been my knowledge of music and digging deeper and dissecting music that has allowed me to follow my passion and do the work that I absolutely love. So that's a number. That's a number 8. Okay, let me do this. Let me turn this around onto the benefits of dissecting music. See what I did there? We've already seen how by dissecting electricity and combustion engines help me troubleshoot the problems with my motorcycle to help me get back on the road. That same principle can be applied to music. You see, not just glossing over music and learning how to play a few things, but understanding how music works gives you a direction. It puts you in the know. It helps you to decide, in this given situation, I'm going to play this or I'm going to play that. The people who are by far our best musicians are in the know. They've dissected music and it's affected the rest of their musical lives. Now, let's do that. Let's dive deeper, put ourselves in the know, and dissect music. But first, I'm going to change into something a little bit more uncomfortable. Okay, let's put ourselves in the know by dissecting music and taking a look at its 4 basic elements, starting with melody. Now, what exactly is melody? Well, if you were to take a look at episode number 6, Am I Your Cup of Tea? You would see at 6 minutes and 4 seconds a very brief description of what melody is. What's missing from Amazing Grace? Are the words? Does this help? Amazing Grace. How sweet the sound. No, those are the lyrics. Those are just the words. But the way that the words rise and fall is the melody. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound. Now, I don't have to get so strummy. I can kind of break those chords up. Watch this. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound. That's melody. That's a lifelong pursuit. That is the way to round out your guitar. Watch this. If I can get my guitar to sing the melody at the same time that it plays the harmony, it'll sound full and rich. That's melody and harmony contained, or I should say, being produced by the guitar itself, all in one. Okay, so melody is not the words that we say, the lyrics, but melody is the way that the lyrics rise and fall in pitch. Now, let's go on to our second element of music. Our second element of music is harmony. Now, harmony is any instrument that can produce more than 2 notes at a time. It sounds like this. The majority of us as guitar players learn how to play the guitar in a harmonic way, where we'll do something like this. We'll grab cowboy chords and we'll just do a nice little... And it doesn't have to be a guitar, it can be a piano, any instrument that can play chords, and chords are meant to support our melody. Now let's talk about our third element of music. Okay, now we're going to talk about the third element of music, which would be the bass. That's the instrument that holds down the bottom end, right? The strings on a bass are much thicker and heavier, so they vibrate much slower, producing a much slower frequency. And we've talked about frequencies in episode 7, part 1 and part 2. So check that out if you need a refresher. The double bass, as pictured here, my best attempt, is actually larger than this. This is not to scale. It's much larger than any guitar. Even an electric bass is much larger than a guitar. Now let's move on to the fourth element. And drum roll, please. Our fourth element of music is percussion. Now, these three elements work together to make melody the most important. Melody is our mistress. How so? Okay, let's talk about how important these three elements are in supporting melody. We've talked before about how Ohio winters lose their sun and they're just drab and dreary and long. Imagine that spring has sprung, the leaves are out, the birds are chirping, the sun is out, and you're walking along a beautiful stream, and you see a young woman sitting on a rock by the stream. The sun's dancing off of the ripples of the stream, and she's singing a beautiful, haunting melody. She's singing a cappella. That would indeed be a beautiful experience. But can you imagine a world where the only thing we have is a cappella, just melody? No, you see, we need harmony, bass, and percussion to support our melody to make it a well-rounded experience. All right, now let's put this all together. Can you recall what was the number one song in the year 2015 in the top 40, the most popular song in the United States? Now, some of you will get this, but most of us won't. Why? When my students sit in front of me, I start to ask them questions like, can you remember the number one song in 2015? Can you remember the number one song in 2010? And they invariably cannot do it. But then I'll ask them a question. I'll say, can you name me a musician or a song that's over 200, 300 years old? Usually a dead white guy wrote it or performed it, and right away, they'll tell me Bach, Beethoven, Mozart. Now, why can they recall a song that was written over 200 years ago, but they can't recall a song that was written a few or several years ago? It's because most of the songs that we consume today are written based on harmony. They're written with chord progressions. When they write the progressions, they stick the melody inside of the chord progressions, but their melody is limited to the notes inside of the chord progressions, and their melodies tend to kind of flatline like this. And then a couple years later, someone else comes by with the same chord progression, or they'll tweak it out a little bit, they'll change the melody, and then it's the next flavor of the day. But when you hear songs like Für Elise, da 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 da, no doubt Beethoven was humming that melody in his head and then came and wrapped his harmony around that melody, which made it super memorable. You see, melody, our mistress melody, always rules the day. Okay, I am in no way trying to disparage popular music. It is valuable. I remember in 1977 when I threw my cap up from high school and graduated, jumped in my hot rod and went down the freeway, and the Eagles' Life in the Fast Lane came on. Every time I hear that song, I think about me being free like I'd never been free before. I absolutely hated school. If 2015's Uptown Funk You Up speaks to you, then that's what music is for. What I'm saying is that through the ages, we will not be teaching those songs to our children like we do the songs from the masters that used melody first. Okay, if you recall, the ending of episode number 6 looked like this, but in order to understand melody, the backbone of the Preston guitar method, we first have to learn how to speak her language. And we're going to do just that. We're going to be exploring and explaining how melody is constructed and how it works. All the best. Oh, hello. Hey, I'm just cleaning up after the video. Couple quick questions for you. First of all, how far do you think it is from Cleveland, Ohio to Jamestown, New York? And B, I thought there might be up to 6 elements of music. What gives? I can't believe I used Coke. This floor is so sticky. Okay, now let's put ourselves in the know by dissecting music and taking a look at its 4 basic elements, possibly 6. What is the 5th and 6th element of music? Well, I think through modern technology, we have a 5th element. I don't know how they do it, but they seem to have been able to capture some nuns and put them in a bottle and stuff them into a keyboard, and now we have those sounds that are, background sounds, people coming from somewhere. 6th.